What's going on, everybody? I'm Josh with Combat Sports Today. I'm joined by Gage the Menace Harper. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Going good, man. Going good.
Congratulations on that big win at FuryFC104. I mean, can you just kind of talk to us about that fight? Anything kind of unexpected happen?
So I had an original opponent, pretty good striker, Muay Thai guy. He had like 6 pro fights. Been around the game for a long time. That was my first opponent, and then about 4 weeks from the fight, 3 to 4 weeks from the fight, he pulled out, and then they gave me my new opponent, Isaac Vasquez, and I'm like completely different style. He's a wrestler. He's a little bit shorter, more compact build. I'm like, this is completely different. So we still took the fight, and I just prepared for a wrestler, and then came fight night. There was like no wrestling at all, straight hands. He caught me early in the first round. I just had to recover from that. I was put in some dangerous situations in the first round.
How did you just kind of overcome all that adversity in the first round, being, this is your pro debut, opponent change, all this going into that?
Yeah, so just like I have so many fights as an amateur, like you want to have all those like possibilities happen. I took short notice fights as an amateur. I had a lot of fighters pull out as an amateur and then replacements, last minute or etc. Same thing like in the fight also is like I've been dropped in an amateur fight and was able to recover quickly. So like I was able to like it wasn't my first time being dropped in a fight. So I was able to like overcome some adversity. Definitely lost that first round. It was very hard. I could have just been like, nah, I'm gonna quit. It's too hard. But I've been there before, and I don't quit.
The biggest question for people from the night is, did you get that PS5, and are you enjoying it if you did get it?
Oh, I got the PS5 on lock. I got it. My girlfriend, her sister had bought it for me after the fight.
Awesome.
And I got it yesterday, and I've just been playing it nonstop.
It's probably has to be like one of the best post-fight bonus win things ever.
Dude, I'm not like a big hardcore gamer. Like I'll get on the game sometimes. But man, when I got the PS5, I'm like, dude, I just remember like it just feels like I was a kid again. Like I played the PS2 so much growing up. That the PS2 is my console. So now I'm just PS5, and I feel like the same little kid again.
What game or games have you been, playing the most since you just got it?
But right now I'm just playing like 2K really hard. Like I'm grinding out 2K like really hard. Like no lifing this game.
You put on a hell of a fight. So, I mean, you earned that PS5 in that time of just zoning out and playing some 2K, man. You earned that.
Appreciate it, brother.
A little background information to catch them up with you. Like we said, you just made your pro debut, got a big win. You talked about your amateur experience. You had, what, I think 12 amateur fights?
12.
I think the weight classes ranged from 125 up to 145. What is your biggest takeaway from that, extended amateur career that you noticed in your pro debut?
I mean, definitely being well prepared. If I go up against a pro with maybe 1, 2 fights, even though they have more fights, even 3 fights, they might have more fights as me as a pro, but I definitely probably have more cage time experience than them. Going to the distance maybe 7 times, 6 times as an amateur. Fighting a 5-round fight as an amateur. So, been through all of that. People will come up to me and be like, yo, why do you have so many amateur fights? Like, when are you going to turn pro? It's like, just keep on going as an amateur. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a lot of experience. I started fighting at 19. My first amateur fight was at 19. And then all the way up to 22 was my last amateur fight.
Getting that experience, is that something that you wanted going into your amateur career, or is that something the coaches kind of guided you into of, hey, you need that experience?
Yeah, it was definitely my coach. When I first started like fighting as an amateur, I didn't know how many amateur fights I was gonna have. Like I was so fresh, so like young in the game. Like I wasn't thinking about turning pro. It was just more about like, let me go out there and fight, rack up these fights. I wasn't thinking about oh, maybe after 6 fights I'll turn pro. I wasn't even thinking about that. It was just like, let me go out there, fight, win some fights, you know.
When did you start training, or what got you into MMA?
So I used to do Taekwondo growing up, but you know that obviously doesn't translate to, you know, mixed martial arts. But I did that growing up for a long time, and then I just always like played the video games like growing up, like on the Xbox 360. Used to play those games crazy. I was maybe 10 years old, play them all the time, and I remember before I even played the video games, I seen it on TV. And I remember specifically it was Clay Guida. I don't remember who he was fighting, but he was bleeding all over the face with his long hair, and his hair was all on his face, and he was just bloodied up, cut up. I'm like, I was maybe 7 years old. I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, subtle foreshadowing. I'm doing that now.
That's awesome, and you're kind of putting on a Clay Guida-esque type of fights. You're just starting off your pro career, and you had that absolute slobber knocker, words are hard today, of a fight. How many more are you trying to get in 2025?
I'm not too sure. Like, I was talking to one of my teammates about it today. He asked me, when do you want to get back in it? I was like, man, I really don't know. I start the Houston Firefighting Academy in October, and so that's a 9-month school. And so I definitely won't be able to put in a true fight camp in while I'm doing that, because it's like Monday through Friday from like 5:45 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m. So it's like literally your whole day. So I can't really commit to a full fight camp while I'm in the school. But before that, I do want to get one more in before I start the academy. But your heart's got to be in it. Like I was telling him, I said, man, I want to get one more in, but I just don't want to come back into training really hard right now. Like I just want to take my time off. Like my heart's not in it to come back for another fight camp like that, you know?
Like you said, you want to get one more in before that training starts. Is, you know, if another, like I know you have a lot of experience in Fury. If somebody else approaches you, is that something that you would take, or are you just kind of just riding with Fury since they are such a great feeder to the UFC?
So I'm on a 4-fight deal. So whichever comes first, 4 fights or 1 year.
You know, just kind of talking about the activity and you know, things like that. In your opinion, how many fights should like an up and coming fighter or talent kind of try and get in a year?
I mean, as an amateur, shoot for 4 to 5. My first year, as an amateur, I fought 6 times in that year. So I put in 6 fight camps. I took a couple short notice fights that was there. 6 is kind of pushing it. 6 is kind of hard. You got to be in the gym, literally every day, and it's like right back to fight camp. But you need that as an amateur. You're still young in the game. You're still fresh. You're still learning a lot. So you want to kind of go back to back to back. You get a little bit of leeway. You're only fighting 9 minutes. It's still you're still trying to fight somebody.
And you kind of spoke on the time difference. Is that something that you noticed was took a bigger impact on you than you anticipated, or did you think you were well prepared for the 5 minutes as opposed to the 3-minute rounds?
No, I was very prepared. My last amateur fight, I fought 3-minute rounds, and at the end of the fight, I was like, yo, I can go for like another 5 rounds. I was like, I feel good. Wasn't breathing hard, wasn't tired. That fight was definitely like in my ball court. Like I controlled the whole fight. Wherever I wanted to go, I took it. And then as a pro, we spar with 5-minute rounds. So I'm used to the 5-minute rounds in training. So it just translated to the fight. My cardio's there. I don't slack on the cardio, so I wasn't too worried about that. What did kind of throw me off in the beginning was in the first round. I knew it was 5-minute rounds. This is my first time fighting a fight with 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm just going to take this first couple minutes slow of the fight. Normally, I'm just like all gas, and I just keep on going, like just throwing right off the bat. That's just how type of fighter I am. But this fight, I came out really relaxed. I came out really calm, and I was like, I'm just going to take my time, see what some shots are, waste some clock, because I don't know how the fight's going to come out like. So I just kept on, and then I got caught lacking. with a big left hook. And then after that, I was like, oh, it's go time now.
Kind of want to get your thoughts on the Ultimate Fighter, since it's kind of kicking back up. And would you, future wise, prefer the Ultimate Fighter house or Contender Series?
I mean, both are cool. The Ultimate Fighter house is cool. It's a great experience. You're literally on TV. You get a whole show dedicated. You get a lot of like publicity from that, especially if you win. That title's always with you as the Ultimate Fighter champion. Honest, either or. The house is really cool. You get publicity, and those fights don't go on your record until the finals. So it's you're fighting 2 rounds, and it's non-sanctioned. But the one thing about it's non-sanctioned, but you still have to cut all that weight.
Yeah.
It's if you're fighting 30 pounds away from your weight class, it's like damn, and you fight 3 times within 3 months. So that's very stressful on the body. Even if you're only fighting two rounds, you still got to cut that weight.
Yeah, it seems pretty brutal from some of the seasons, though. Some of the guys had a lot of issues making that weight so back to back. So I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it, because some of the other younger guys interviewed kind of weren't a super big fan of the Ultimate Fighter reality TV show type of thing. So
the mid 2000s, that was crazy. The Ultimate Fighter show was crazy in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, see, that's what I grew up watching. Was like I grew up with Ultimate Fighter 1 and on, so I guess maybe that's why I kind of have a little nostalgia with it. So I still like it, even though I agree it's not as good as it was.
Yeah, the newer ones, it's more like laid back. They separate the fighters, separate houses, and also it's more focused on the fighting aspect of it and training aspect of it, other than like the lifestyle of the household.
Yeah, pumping booze and a bunch of dudes and setting them free with the cameras.
That's why MMA got such a bad reputation in the early stages, was just because of that, probably from the Ultimate Fighter.
I think it was in one of your post fights or in one of your fights, the commentators mentioned you were becoming a teacher, or, well, I guess are you still wanting to pursue that after firefighting, or has that changed?
So yeah, I just got my associate's degree from college, and the plan was go transfer and go get my bachelor's degree, but plans changed. After I finish firefighting school, I still want to go back to college and finish out my bachelor's degree, and get my degree also. Teaching still up in the air. Not a full-time teacher, probably just like a substitute teacher if I want to do that, But I do want to get my degree.
What just kind of inspired you to be a teacher? Because that's takes a very special type of person to be a teacher.
Just like influencing like the youth. I had like some like two teachers in high school that was like, damn, like, they didn't like they influenced me. They helped me a lot. They're just good role models to have, and a lot of men, boys don't have dads in the house, or a mother in the house, so they're doing however, and step up, help out when I can, and just try to be a role model and be a leader.
I noticed in a couple of your fights, and you're still kind of rocking the red stripe in your hair. Is that kind of a reference to Kratos, or what is that a reference or throwback to?
Yo, so I seen Davison Figueroa from the UFC like do it, and I think he still does it in his fights. But I just seen that, I was like, yo, that's badass. I was like, yo, people like remember this, they see you and they just remember that streak, and like when they see that, they're like, oh, that's him, It's like a trademark. People that's why I always walk out with the sunglasses. People remember that. Like a trademark thing that I have,
Yeah, you gotta have that persona, that character, that something that the people, fans, and everybody focus in on and remember you by.
But like this right here, when this comes out, just know I'm going to war.
It's kind of like a signal for that flip switch that a lot of fighters talk about.
It's go time. It's go time then, I got my dye in the hair. Can't cancel me on me now.
Mention some post-fight Oreos. Are you like a big Oreo guy, or what's the story behind the post-fight Oreos?
I love my Oreos, man. Oh, the Oreos. I can eat some Oreos forever.
Do you have like a favorite limited edition or like foreign Oreos?
I'm like a regular guy. I just like the basic flavors. You know, I like the Oreo thins are probably my favorite, but I like the regular, like the double stuff. But I don't like the. It's not I don't like it. It's just I just like the original flavor.
My wife's a huge Oreo person, so anytime she sees like the limited edition or like the new one at the grocery store, she just throws it in the car.
Yeah, I mean, like after every fight, I'd be eating a lot of Oreos.
Hey,
Like,
you deserve it from weight cutting and going on to the fight. If you want to down a sleever 3 of Oreos, who's going to stop you?
yeah, there's been a couple of fights like where I pack Oreos, but like after I fight, and by the time I go down to see my family after the fight, I've already ate like 6 Oreos, and I still have the bag in my hand. I'm just eating Oreos at the arena.
I do love them Oreos.
Yeah, any type of like if I get like ice cream, I'll get like cookies and cream ice cream or like cookies and cream frozen yogurt.
Eventually, you're going to have to, once you get into the UFC and, get your career way off on the ground, you're going to have to try and get an Oreo sponsor.
Oh, man. I'm get an Oreo sponsor, man.
What's something that, from 5 or 10 years from now, if you come across this video on YouTube or whatever, and you watching this, what is something you want that yourself from that time to know?
Hey, just keep on going. You got this. Just know that you're the menace and you're the beast. But yeah, I don't plan on quitting. I don't plan on stopping. I do look back at like old videos of me, like when I first started training. I'm like, yo, this was 5 years ago. This is crazy. Like how fast like I've grown as a fighter and as a person. I just want to just keep on growing as a fighter and as a person as well.
And again, congratulations on that your pro debut. Do you got any loved ones, sponsors, teammates, gyms you want to give a quick shout out to real quick?
Thank you to all my teammates at Next Level. Appreciate all y'all getting me ready for my last fight and all my other fights and upcoming fights I'm gonna have. My sponsors, appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to my family, my grandmother, my mom, my girlfriend. Appreciate all y'all because y'all helped me a lot when I need it. And thank you to all my supporters, my fans, friends, family. Anybody I didn't mention, thank you.
Again, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy person. You just got done with the fight, back in training. You got the firefighter school coming up, and hope the best for you in that, and hope you get a fight in. And take it easy until the next time we chop it up again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.